Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each week. Elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.
Yes, we're here, gentlemen. We're here. No point wasting much time introducing you wonderful gentlemen from Canada, from Lagos, Nigeria. George, it's good to see you. The new week.
Yes,
Welcome.
It's a brand new week. Thank you so much. And welcome viewers from around the world on our Monday Between the Lines. It's going to be a fantastic one today.
Thank you, George. And Raji?
Yeah, good evening, guys. Good evening, viewers around the world. Welcome to our Monday program.
Yes, you're welcome. Informative as usual. Yes, Raji, a lot is happening from your end there. Hearing all those interesting news. But let's start with the one that's not too interesting. The Owo church attack several years ago. I think that was last year or so. And some suspects were, they pleaded not guilty. Raji, are you following that story? Those suspects were arraigned about 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago. It was a terrible, very gruesome killing in the church of St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo. Owo is Ondo State. Ondo State is southwest Nigeria. And these men were all arraigned, but they all said they are not guilty. So did they catch the wrong people, or what is it that is happening with that very sad story from Ondo State?
But normally, any accused will plead not guilty, even if he's guilty, and he will plead not guilty until he's found guilty. So evidence are alluded to prove his guilt. So they pleading not guilty is no news.
Yes, what you're seeing there is the church. That was that church that day, almost 3 years ago, when some people entered and killed people, church members attending service on that fateful day. George, the court this morning paraded these people, but we're hearing something else. What do you have from your end, George?
Well, following the story, 5 suspects pleaded not guilty to 9 terrorism charges over the 2022, 3 years ago, bombing of St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo, Ondo State. The accused, alleged Al-Shabaab members from Kogi State were arraigned before Justice Emeka Nwite and at the Federal High Court. Trial is set to start on 19th of August of this month. Suspects remain in DSS custodies. National Security Council linked the assault of ISWAP militants, and then late Governor Rotimi Okorodu condemned it as a crime against humanity, renewing calls for a state police and better equipped Amotekun forces. But the point is, are they pleading not guilty because they feel that because the Muslims consider Christians and others as infidels? That's a question. I'm not making any statement. Because are they pleading not guilty because they feel like what they did was right for them because they're killing infidels according to, the their belief. That's the major question that I'm asking. I don't know why you go and kill 40 people inside a church, and then you come out and say not guilty. So I mean, with a situation like this, I believe that the only thing that they could have done was to plead guilty and reduce maybe reduce their sentences. But anyway, in Nigeria, you don't know what is what. So it's very
Yeah,
sad.
good
may
one,
I
George.
come in
Good
there?
one. Sorry,
May I come in there?
let me help our viewers. The photos you're seeing are some of the victims. There is a mixed multitude of church members, Igbos, Yorubas, different ethnic group were in that church that day, that fateful day. Go ahead, Raji. What do you want to tell us?
May I correct the misconception
Okay.
that Muslims consider Christians infidels and they are supposed to be killed? That is not it.
Oh.
It is a
We've had
misconception.
a lot of Muslims say so.
We,
So
we,
these are people that are not
it is
really
a
into the hold
misconception.
on. So
And then please you hold on.
so
George, hold on. George, hold on. Go ahead.
And then it is very rare for you to see any accused come to court and plead guilty. Most accused will first of all plead not guilty, and then the court may eventually find them guilty.
so my question is, when some of them some Muslims come out, or well, I call them radical Muslims then, because you have radical Christians, you have radical Jewish people, you have radicals all over the place. So when they come out and say things like that, is it that they're not, it's not something that is in Quran? That
Sorry,
outside of the
I
faith of
think
Muslim religion, anybody outside of the Muslim religion, the faith of Muslim religion is an infidel? Because I've had it, you know.
if you've had it, I'll not contend that with you. But I'm telling you that it's a misconception of Islam.
Okay.
The same thing as the misconception that comes with Islamic terrorism. That is a misconception also. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Anyway,
no, the truth of the matter
hmm?
is, I know a lot of Muslims that are true Muslims that are very loving, very kind, very straightforward. I know a lot of them. Then outside of that, also you see some radical ones that are doing some crazy things that even other Muslims will not agree with. So you're correct about that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good one. Thank you. So anyway, viewers, that's it. That incident 3 years ago, the men that were paraded said they are not guilty. Now the justice, like George said, is fixing August 19th. I think that's next week for a commencement of the trial. And he said the suspects should all be remanded in the custody of the Department of State Service. So we'll be following that story because that was a very gruesome act that year. It was real.
But you know what? Most of the time,
Condemnable.
what I think should be done also is,
Mhm.
who are the people behind? Because I don't think this bunch of guys came together, just orchestrated this and went there to do. I think they were sent. So I think that one of the most important things that they need to do, find out who are their leaders, who sent them, and then in order to clip it from from the roots, because this type of things, these guys that you see there, I can guarantee you can become a scapegoat, because they were out, they sent them, but who sent them? That is the main question. Because if you want to stop this type of thing, go to the root cause, go to the leaders who are sending these young people. They radicalize them and send them. That's the only way to
Definitely.
clip them. Yeah, they
Definitely.
need to do
But
that.
they are all misguided, illiterate yam heads. And it is the interest of those who send them around that a lot of them should be kept uneducated with, with their mind and their minds closed and senses closed to reason.
Yeah.
Yes, George, but looking at this whole thing also, we've had a series of killing. In fact, as we were about to come on stream, the killing in Yawalta in Zamfara has some fresh, there's a news just coming in from that end. Now, what they target the most, like you're trying to say, is these church goers, innocent people coming to their gathering and blow them up. And we see this happening all the time. So does this mean that the church should now begin to also have more security measures, like policemen in the church doing service? I mean, to curtail some of these.
It is high time my Christian brothers started depending more on arming themselves and defending themselves rather than on the blood of Jesus and olive oil.
Did you hear that, Judge? Judge Raji is
listen to me. Listen, what Raji is saying, it might sound funny, but it is not. Remember, when Jesus was arrested and was about to be crucified, something happened in the Garden of Gethsemane. Something took in the Mount of Olives.
Somebody took out his sword.
Peter took out his sword and cut Matthew's ear.
Yeah.
And the Lord said to him, put your sword back. Do you understand? And fixed and healed that man's ear, picked up the ear, brushed it up and put it back in, and he became normal again. So what we're saying is sometimes we walk in love, but you gotta be wise. So if the preachers can go around with security men, armed security men, what stops them from, getting gun license for guns and make sure that members are trained very well? Some members are security, MOD, military of defense in the churches, so that if these radicals come, we'll just take them out instantly. So I think it's a good idea to do so, because if
George, you guys are bringing something that I think I need to discuss sometime in the future. That's true. The clergymen, the pastors are going around with bulletproof cars, drones, security guards, and they leave the vulnerable congregation open to attack. I mean,
yes.
Okay.
So when you think about that, then you come to the understanding that maybe the problem we have with that is that some of these churches that they go to, they might not be as rich as the other ones. Maybe get a security person to pay them and all that kind of stuff. So they are very vulnerable economically and financially, and therefore they might not be able to protect themselves. But it is about time for a law to be passed that if you go, because remember, to come inside the church to kill somebody, churches in North America, when somebody runs into a church, you don't go there to get them. You wait until they come out. That's supposed to be a safety zone. A mosque is supposed to be a safety zone, whereby when you go, even the law cannot trespass in that arena, until the person is almost like somebody going into an embassy to hide. You can't go there because you're going to another person's country, even though that embassy is in your country. So that's exactly the point that we're making here. So it's important for us to understand that when they do this, firing squad ought to be required to kill those people. Firing squad needs to be reinstituted in Nigeria, because some of these people that are so mad and so crazy and so radicalized, the only answer for them is to make sure that public square put them out there and kill them the same way they killed others. And that's exactly it. Simple.
Gone are the days when a church or a mosque or a place of worship was considered a sanctuary.
It's still in some countries.
I grew up
in Canada, it is still on.
I grew up seeing when Muslims or Christians are approaching a church or a mosque, where if they are drumming, they will stop drumming until they pass the church or mosque. There was mutual respect. Something has happened to the air that these people breathe.
Okay, let me help our viewers. Some are just joining in. Viewers, we're talking about the incident that happened 2 years ago in Owo, Ondo State. And some suspects were paraded, but they declared themselves, they said they are not guilty. Their case has been fixed for 19th of August next week for the commencement of the trial. So let's hope that something good comes out of that. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Raji. You said some real strong words there, and George says that's what it is. Yes, the Christians should now begin to think of really protecting themselves. So let's move on, George, Raji. Let's move on to the interesting story of Raye. I don't know, Raye, the young girl, the NYC copper member that called out Tinubu's government over high cost of living. Now she has revealed that after completing her 1 year service, the NYC body has refused to give her certificate. Let me start with Raji, go ahead.
Yes. I don't think that the NYC refused. The NYC has not given her her certificate yet. So if the NYC has refused, then it means she will never get her certificate. But she has not been given out yet. Now let me continue, please.
Okay, because I want to put something to light. Okay, go ahead.
Now she was on youth service. This was a national program that she was on. She was still under authority, and whatever you do during that service year, you could be punished for it.
Okay. Let me just start with this.
Yes,
okay.
George, before we go ahead, let's see this clip. Let's just run this clip. It's a small short clip.
Okay. I did not get my NYC certificate today after 1 year of serving this country. I literally went there with my cohort people, or should I say people we served together. And when it was my turn, they said no certificate for you. I had to go home. And since then, I locked myself at home and I was looking like a mess. I didn't talk to anyone. But today I decided to get up and go to the gym. It's been a long time I went to the gym and I just feel like I need to let some steam off my body. So I no longer feel angry towards myself. Yes, I genuinely feel angry towards myself. And I feel like I was played big time. You know when people think like, oh, because they're older than you, they are smarter and they can put you in a corner, and that's the kind of emotions that's running through my vein. I feel like it's so much anger, but I just cannot release it. I'm trying to buckle everything up, and honestly, when I look back and I'm like, how much do I need this certificate? This is something that I genuinely need, and to be very honest, if not for my family, I wouldn't even give a damn about it. But yeah, bye guys.
Okay, so what it is that NYC refused social media claims that the cast member Ushie Rita Uguamaye was denied her certificate of national service for criticizing the government. Now, let me tell you something. You see, in Nigeria, when they say that Nigeria has happened to you, that means that underneath the table, there are so many things that are going on that might not be normal. We remember when this thing took place that she was threatened. She was threatened, literally. And actually, if it wasn't because of the public outcry, she would have been arrested simply because she spoke up. She's a Nigerian citizen, for goodness sake. And she's old enough to speak her mind. That is freedom of speech if we are actually practicing what you call normal democracy. Now, management says Rita's certificate was withheld for valid disciplinary reasons, missing April 2025 biometric clearance. These are excuses, if you ask me, because if she never came out to speak publicly against the president, I don't think these things will be happening. So whether we like it or not, there are some things, some magomago nonsense that is going on underneath. Her service year has been extended by 2 months in line with NYC bylaws. Why is that? NYC stresses the extension is a standard procedure applied to 131 corps members, not political decision. Public urge not to politicize the matter as a scheme remains committed to the constitutional mandate. Listen to me. Whether we like it or not, we need to understand, because we are heading towards an authoritarian type of government in our country where you cannot even, as a citizen of the country, say something against a leader. Yes, we do have respect, but politically we can come out and say things When they are not doing well, you criticize them. When they are doing well, you can praise them. But this particular thing that is happening right here, it is unacceptable.
Okay.
It is
Okay.
unacceptable.
Yes. Raju wants to say something.
May I add to that?
All right, Georgie.
Yeah. I've seen cases where anybody who raises a voice against Israel is damned. I've seen where even the University of Harvard institutions are being now penalized for speaking out against the genocide going on in Gaza. Compared with what has happened to this young lady, that doesn't make Nigeria such a bad country. So let us be careful the way we go on about criticizing certain things. NYSC has told you that it is normal disciplinary action. And they have told you, whether it's an excuse or not, that he missed that April 25th biometric event. Simple as that.
Clearance.
Okay.
Well, just because wait a minute.
me-
Hold tight. Just because they say it and give us an excuse doesn't make it acceptable. This young lady is being, they're using her as an scapegoat. So that's one thing that we need to understand, because if not, there is no way. If this young lady did not say what she said, she would have been cleared by now. She would have received her certificate. Somehow, somewhere, what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu is happening to her.
What about what happened? What happened to the other 128 other people?
Did they cite the reason why? Did they cite the reason why?
Because you guys have made this Reuters case public. Please don't let us go to Nnamdi Kanu's case.
No,
because
listen.
while I support
Nnamdi Kanu has been the court already released Nnamdi Kanu, but he's still in prison. What is happening to this young lady is because she spoke up. If not, she would have been cleared and received her certificate.
Nnamdi Kanu is still in prison because,
let's just deal with this. I
you brought
leave it alone. Leave it alone. Let's center on this.
Nnamdi Kanu is in prison now because he jumped bail.
Let's center on this, not Nnamdi Kanu.
All right, gentlemen, let me give my view. Yeah, let me give my own take on this. It might not be an action directly from the presidency. Absolutely. Like what we have noticed, what we are observing, it is some officers, some people in the NYSC, in the university, and all of this that are acting overzealously. And it's coming from what Atiku Abubakar and the lawyer Femi Falana has concluded. They said this is overzealousness taken out of this poor girl. That these people are overzealous working for the presidency, and they want to make him feel you shouldn't talk to the presidency this way. So anyway, some human rights lawyers are taking up the case. They are also accusing this as a personal persecution over this young lady.
So
nothing.
Yeah, it is not. No. It's something. Because this lady is when it crops up.
Listen to this lady, young lady, has locked herself up. A lot of kids are committing suicide simply because of the, putting a lot of things on them. So if this woman had ended up some kind of way, she just went out and started exercising to just to release herself of the of this particular situation. And you cannot call it nothing, because it is seriously something. And psychologically, the effect of this particular thing can affect this young girl for the rest of her life if she's not strong enough. So for real, this is a very serious issue. Being treated like this simply because you spoke up against what the government is doing, it is wrong, unacceptable. And there's a wrong lesson to be teaching children, young people like this in our country. This lady could become the prime minister or president of Nigeria any day, anytime. And I can tell you something. You see this lady? Watch this young lady, because she's going to become something tomorrow. And as a result of all this nonsense that is happening to her, God will elevate her.
George is coming real strong. Strong stance, George. So that's it, viewers. Raye is coming out. The news is she called out Tinubu's government over the high cost of living, which we all know, yes, is biting her. Raji, I mean, what she said were not things that are fake or false. She's talking about the high cost of living and all that surrounding this government. And now it's been revealed that completing her 1-year service, the NYSC has refused to issue her certificate. So, I mean, let's call it what it is. It's not a small thing; it's a serious thing.
NYSC has not refused. They have withheld a certificate for 2 months for her to serve a disciplinary action. Simple and short. I don't know why we are sounding biblical and prophetic about.
Well, you can call it what you want, but if she had committed suicide, or maybe when she locked herself up, and then all of a sudden they opened the door and she's hanging on.
She had better not waste her life.
On that,
she had better not waste her life.
Yes. All right, George, Raji, thank you. Let's do a small break. We'll be back. Viewers, you are tuning into Between the Lines. Between the Lines, the first day of the week, 11th August. We're here, George from Toronto, Canada, and Raji from Lagos, Nigeria. Let's see you on the other side.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa. SSM's Wednesday Global Africa program elevate your new week, fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis and the most attention-grabbing lines, deciphering world events. Hook up to SSM Monday program Between the Lines.
Yes, you're welcome back to Between the Lines. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajuma, and we're here giving those news and checking through the lines of what happens. So George is here too. George, let's come to something that's quite interesting. It looks as if a lot of Nigerians are losing their manners when they're in public now, George. And it also looks like Kwam have set a follow-up to some very unruly behavior when you're traveling with planes at the airports. So we have the story of the young lady that a lot of people that has gone viral with many people on social media. Very chaotic situation on Ibiom air flights. Female passenger assaults crew, and all kinds of things happening. George, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm here.
Good.
I'm back.
Yes. So I'm talking about people's behavior recently publicly. It looks as if people are throwing manners out of a window. So we have that chaotic situation happening on the Ibiom air flight where a female passenger assaulted the crew, screaming, banging, unruly passenger that assaulted almost everybody, policemen and everything. And remember the Kwam story. Guys, what do you have on this? What do you what's happening?
I mean, as they have banned her, Comfort and Emanson, for life. after she assaulted the crew members on Uyo flight heading to Lagos. The trouble began when she refused to switch off her phone before takeoff, and later attacking the one of the flight attendants and then another crew members on arrival. Emanson has also tried to grab a fire extinguisher and assaulted security staff, even slapped the ground supervisor. So this woman she's crazy. She was restrained, handed over to the police, and reported to aviation authorities. Ibon Air says it has zero tolerance for unruly behavior and commends its crew for professionalism under the pressure, because they have won so far. They have won 4 consecutive years of the best flight in Nigeria. Actually, the very local best flight. So this young lady ought to be taught a good lesson. But this is what you see sometimes when you see leaders, misbehaving, publicly. Because what was the reason for this to happen? A few days ago, the same thing happened with another, where people go into the flight and they feel like they can do what they want when they want it. So these people ought to be taught a good lesson, because this could cause, delays in the flight, and it could also cause somebody, the flight to crash. You're being told to turn off your phone or put it in on a flight mode. You refuse it. For what purpose? Is it the first time she's flying? So these people ought to be taught a good lesson, a very good lesson. And a few weeks ago, the reason why I'm saying leaders, a few weeks ago, we saw the former governor of Edo State, who came out and was insulting himself and disgracing himself publicly simply because of something. So this is where they're learning all this nonsense from.
Yes, thank you, George. Raji, George said some people are setting out these examples, and these young ones are following. What's your take on this whole situation?
It seems to me that this girl is under some influence. Looking at her, I don't think she's up to 40. And for her to have the audacity to even fight with the staff on board, slap the staff on board.
Can you imagine that?
Yes, refuse to turn off her phone, which is a normal procedure on every flight. I don't know.
That's the routine. Nigerians that have not gone on flights, hear this and hear it loud. We're talking here now. Raji is telling you the routine in every flight before flight takeoff is phones are switched off. So I don't see why somebody will go berserk because you're told to switch off your phone and you're fighting everybody.
And it's not her first time. She must be under some influence. The same thing with, you cannot take alcohol onto the flight. You cannot take any liquid more than 125 mils onto a flight. Simple procedures.
Simple routine.
I don't know why it becomes a matter for police. And you see, in the Palm 1 case, looking at him as an adult, he must be close to 60, if not more. His behavior was also something else. And the same thing that happened to this young lady shall happen to him immediately.
The update we got is she's been reminded in the prison.
Yes.
But we don't know how true that is. But what she did here is real assault, and is a public.
Atrocious.
Atrocious, so I don't know. Some people are begging for mercy, begging.
There is no mercy.
They said if Kwan, nothing happened to Kwan 1. Kwan 1 went home that day. Kwan 1 wasn't arrested. So they say if Kwan 1 was not arrested, she should also.
Kwan 1 case is quite different from this one. This one is a public nuisance. Now, a similar thing that just happened that I saw on social media, the same Ibom airline, where because of one passenger, all other passengers were asked to come out of the flight. And I think the flight is not taking off now because it's now getting late. And those who are supposed to be taking connecting flights are most likely going to miss their flight, miss their connecting flight. I heard a woman who is supposed to go on BA complain that her flight on BA is 5 a.m. If she's still here in Akwa Ibom, and she doesn't live here, if she's here in Akwa Ibom at 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 5 p.m., when is she getting to Lagos to be able to connect her flight? Otherwise, she will lose her ticket.
If you ask me, this individual who publicly apologized, that should not be the end of that case. He ought to be charged to court. He ought to be charged to court because you don't play with flights. You don't play with people's lives. This nonsense that this young lady is doing, she should not be given bail until the trial. So she will come out sane next time to know how to behave publicly. Because a lot of people are affected by this. Like what you just said. What if there are somebody going for an international flight? They will miss their flight simply because of this nuisance. I mean, who does that? You know, so we should not have we should have zero tolerance for this type of nonsense. And it's increasing in our country and it should not be accepted.
Yes, you know why it's increasing? Because they've all been doing it and getting away with it. The former governor of Edo State did it, got away with it. Kwam is apologizing with his English he's speaking.
Apology does not have anything to do with a criminal case. They ought to be taken to court.
So one day we'll have young men go to the come into a plane and probably just take everybody who's stage.
Can you imagine that? This is exactly the next one that might happen if this is allowed.
So Nigerians need to understand we're not belittling anybody. We're not trying to make anybody feel bad. But there are procedures. Laraji is saying that there are procedures with airlines. As a passenger in a flight, you need to turn off your phone. You don't go in there with liquid, alcohol. I mean, these are standard routine. Nobody's doing that to you because it's you. Maybe George Raji, maybe she thought they were just targeting her, like, why are you having a phone? You know,
she could be taking a general announcement.
She is
general announcement.
So yes. Why?
Everybody is equal under the law.
All right.
There's no exception.
Miss Comfort,
Emma, the president should not, should not give you extra privileges that is beyond outside of the, the constraints of the law. No, it's not allowed.
As a matter of fact, if you know the president, that should actually let you behave yourself better.
Boom. That's it, Raji. If you know, that's it. If you have that kind of connection, then you should behave with more decorum, more respect, because you don't want anything to tarnish your relationship. That's a good one, Raji. So viewers, that's it. That's what happened. We know the thing has gone viral, chaotic situation. It was yesterday. A female passenger aboard the Ibiom air flight caused major disturbance to everybody at the airport there. And her name is Miss Comfort Emerson. George, you said that correctly. Miss Comfort. She conducted herself as a serious threat to the safety of the crew, passengers, and even the aircraft. Please, no one more of this.
No comfort at all. She's not living up to her name.
No comfort at all. All right, gentlemen, thank you. But a quick one. We still have this unprecedented alert in the heat that is in Europe. George, I don't know how your place is.
Yeah, we still have it. It's 35 degrees here. It's like more than 40.
It's more than 40 out here.
Yeah. The UN's human rights chief warns record-breaking heat waves, highlighting the urgent need to shift from fossil fuel to adapt climate change. Experts say rising greenhouse gases are making heat waves more frequent, intense, and destructive to health, livelihood, and the environment. And Europe, most of the time, even in Italy, they don't have air conditioning in their houses. So, they don't. Mostly
because the weather is always cold. Yeah.
Cool. Yes. So that's a major issue.
Yes.
There should be no blame on fossil fuel because there's actually nothing like fossil fuel. and they should not blame climate change, because there's nothing like climate change. If you are blaming it on the carbon content of the atmosphere, the carbon content in the atmosphere is not more than 0.001%. I don't see how that is a problem. In
But
fact, hold on, sir.
mm-hmm.
Because in fact, during COVID, it was realized that even the carbon content in the atmosphere was rising, and there were no movement around. Fossil fuel was not being burnt. So-called fossil fuel was not being burnt. So let us look for the real culprit. Let the governments of the United States and Europe stop cloud seeding, where they project aluminum particles into the air to cause rain, and therefore to distort the whole climate. Let them be careful about that.
That's that's a new information, Raji. Thank you.
A question I need to ask is, if there is no climate change, why is it that in our own lifetime we have seen changes take place? This heat wave that we're talking about is unprecedented. We haven't seen anything like that before. Why is it happening? And why is it that places like Guangzhou in China and all those places where you can go there, you can even feel, you can breathe normally, like regular air that you breathe in other places. So that's what I'm asking, because there's been a lot of contention over this situation about climate change, whether it's true or not, or whether it's greenhouses, fossil fuel that is causing it, or whatever the case might be. So my question is, why is it intensifying? Because something must be causing it.
You'll be surprised to know. That temperatures taken historically over the last 500 years have only shown not more than 50% or more than 1 degree difference in the thing. And I can show you that all this kind of what they call it, heat waves and things have happened before regularly in history. We shouldn't blame fossil fuel. We shouldn't blame things. So, as a matter of fact, there's nothing like fossil fuel, because those who drill for oil have never found any fossils where they get oil. The deepest point where you can get oil, you can get fossils, is not more than 16,000 meters. But you get oil farther down to more than 30,000 meters. Yes.
Some real strong, powerful information there, Raji. You are doling out to us. Thank you.
We have to blame Rockefeller for this misconception. The guys who were first into oil, who wanted to make oil look like something expendable, that it will go out. Oil can never finish. In fact, the more oil fields are being discovered now, and more gas fields too. Right across the Gaza Strip, they have just discovered more than 13 trillion liters of gas with accompanying oil.
And talking about Gaza, let's come to the Gaza story. Prior to coming into the studio, funerals are being held for some Al Jazeera journalists killed in Israel, in Gaza City by Israeli. George, did you hear that news? Israel strike multiple journalist points in Gaza, and that news has been running. People are outraged. There's outrage over this whole thing. Families of Israeli hostages being held are protesting everywhere. It's lamentation. George, what do you say about this?
Yeah, a lot of news agencies, major news agencies voice urgent concern over the Gaza based journalists struggling to survive and restrictions on international reporters. And then, for this to happen is actually a violation, to kill somebody who is out there, news. And this is, it goes to condemn what is really still going on. And like I said before, release the hostages and let's stop this fight. Let's stop killing innocent children and elderlies and starving them to death. Release the hostages. Why are they still holding the hostages? I don't understand it. How many years now? It's been so many months. We need to really, really. Okay, my question is, we can blame Israel for trying to say or using the excuses of eliminating Hamas to continue doing what they're doing. Well, release the hostages. At least when you release those hostages, what now will happen? Then the whole world can descend upon Israel if they, fire one more bullet. But right now they're giving them excuses, and that's my concern over this whole entire thing. Gaza Health Ministry reports 5 more, malnutrition deaths in 24 hours, bringing the toll to 222 children, including, people, including 101 children. Can you imagine that? UN says aid entering Gaza remains far below what is needed. Warning famine is unfolding, and while Israel denies starvation and blames UN agencies for delays. I mean, these are just, it doesn't make any sense. My thing is, let this conflict come to an end because children are dying. People, innocent civilians are dying. If you release the hostages, then what will happen? Anything that Israel is, if they continue with this nonsense, they will have no excuse whatsoever. But right now, the conflict began after that October this thing, and it's ongoing. More than 1,200 people, and was killed, and 251 taken hostage. Over 61 have since died in Gaza, according to the local authorities. So this thing doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I believe that the best way to come against Israel, release those hostages that are alive, because I'm quite sure that many of them are dead, and then hold it.
I do not think that the situation is as simple as Sir George is making it. The targeted assassination of medical staff has been going on. More than 1,000 medical staff has been killed in Gaza. More than almost 1,000 journalists have been killed, targeted and killed because Israel does not want the carnage that they have caused in Gaza to be brought out to the public. Now, about the hostages, the numbers keep varying, but the few of the hostages who were released spoke about how very well they were treated by Hamas. So I do not think that the hostages are a problem because they are being well taken care of by Hamas. Netanyahu has a final solution agenda for Gaza by moving all the people out of that place, and he's in league with. He has found a person in the name of Trump who is willing to turn the whole place into a Riviera. Let them go on with their plan.
What makes me angry sometimes is when we're one-sided in our understanding of conflict. Okay, number one, like I said before, if the hostages are released, Israel will have no excuse whatsoever. But now you are holding hostages, still holding them, those hostages. And what is happening? They're using that as an excuse to eliminate you guys. So why can't they release the hostages? Then Israel will have no excuse whatsoever because you're giving them excuse to act inhuman, to destroy lives, to starve these people to death. And when we're still holding hostages, the people to blame are these Hamas people that are holding hostages.
Sir George, your statement is the same thing as Golda Meir said in the 70s, that he blames the Arabs for letting Israelis kill their children, Arab children, that they will not forgive the Arabs.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Arab children. You are blaming the victims.
our viewers need to be to follow up also at some point what we're talking about, because they come in and go out. Viewers, we're talking about the Israeli strike that killed multiple journalists in Gaza. There is a fact that should be known. Israel does not allow international journalists to enter the Gaza Strip to report, wherever you are. So, and I know most journalists know that. So when you cross that borderline, you get shot. You know. So these are some rules, some laws that.
So you are justified in that,
because most times they say those journalists are not really representing the media houses they claim to be representing, and also they come with other motives. So
now you are not telling yourself that you are being one-sided in your reportage.
No. This is what I'm not reporting. It's not my personal view. This is what Israel has said. It's Israel media that is telling people that they don't allow international journalists.
Israel not me. Define the narrative.
Yes, and they also say that. Yes, it's okay. Let's go on to something more that we'll begin to round up. It was something of a good to see, a sight to behold. The Armenian leader and the Azerbaijan leader shaking hands is something that we will not forget easily. Gentlemen, let's see this clip before we come to we round it up. Let's see this.
President of the United States, the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia will now sign the joint declaration on the outcomes of the Trump Route for International Peace and Prosperity Summit.
That's really
They will
beautiful.
sign 3 copies in English. The President of the United States signs as a witness to the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Prime Minister of the Republic of Armenia, affirming their path to peace, stability, and prosperity. We kindly ask that all guests remain seated for the signing of the documents.
Okay, gentlemen, is this not what we want to see? Is this not what the world wants? More of such things.
Trump is actually trying to win this Nobel Peace Prize.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No,
Trump
Trump
deserves to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Trump deserves to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
He's actually working
because
for
I have not seen a president, who actively have pursued peace between 2 countries and and getting them to sit down and to bring peace among each other. Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize.
It seems to me that Trump is the kind of guy who will cause a problem between Sir Mark and Sir George, and then come to bring peace between them.
I don't know where I don't know what you're getting at. What I'm saying is this: we have seen an open pursuit of peace amongst many countries, and we are seeing results take place. This is actually very, very. I mean, I'm impressed, honestly speaking. And as a matter of fact, I should clap for Trump for this. Continue with the peace talks and let's get that peace Nobel Prize.
Yes. It's not even about the Nobel Prize. Don't we want to see more peace in the world? I mean, what's the essence of this fight? Do you know that those 2 countries have never been at peace?
It would do better if you ensure that there was no more carnage in Gaza.
Okay.
All
right, gentlemen. Let's go out, Judge. Yes, the only last thing I would say is hundreds of thousands of Ivorians took to the street chanting no to Alassane Ouattara. You all know Ouattara wants to come on the 4th term, but the Ivorians are saying no, they don't want this. They came out in numbers on Friday, Saturday, and they said they don't want that.
I'm surprised that Obasanjo has not said anything about that.
That's his friend.
Obasanjo was instrumental in ensuring that Bago was chased out and for Ouattara to come in. Ouattara has been in since Obasanjo was our head of state.
And he's still there.
I want
And
to
it's
go
still
for
there.
other. Yes.
Can you imagine? Okay, but the people say no. Let's see if that will play out when the election begins. George, Raji, let's go. It's a new week. Thank you guys for coming. Do you have anything to say, George? You want some last words?
Well, last word, I'm like I am applauding Trump's effort to bring peace around the world, number
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Number two,
Yes.
and I'm wishing everybody, especially those in Europe, to just find shelters, find somewhere to cool off. Make sure you stay hydrated. In Canada here, the same thing, because it's kind of hot, though that our houses have air conditioner and stuff like that. If you don't, go to the malls, go to the shops that have air. Window shop to keep yourself cool until it's evening. And also, I just want to, wish everyone a wonderful, successful, all-round successful and prosperous week. Stay safe and remain blessed. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless our president.
Amen. Thank you. Raji, what's that?
It's a new week. It's a new week and a week of peace and progress for all of us.
Amen.
We shall have peace. We shall have joy.
Yeah.
Go out and love. Smile at your neighbor and let the smile form a wave across the world.
At you. Thank you, Raji. Thank you, George. So, viewers, this is it. Between the Lines. We've come 11th of August and we've done our thing. So, we'll come again on Wednesday. Have a beautiful week, like the gentlemen have said. Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista.
Bye-bye.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.